Hello, everybody. Welcome to Arsenal X, the Xbox podcast here on the Boss Rush Network. I am your host, Corey Deerigan. Alongside me, as always, is the wise Wisconsinite, Mr. Sleepy Jesse Douglas.
How's it going, everyone?
How's that nap, Jesse? Feel good? Feel better?
It was okay.
It was okay.
Not long enough, but it was good.
Also joining us, as always, is the commander himself, Stoy Jovic.
Hello. I saw you bipping and bopping, so I started bipping and bopping, and then I saw no one else bipping and bopping, so I stopped.
It's because nobody else has any rhythm here.
No,
you know
exactly.
I mean?
It's kind of a shame. Like I thought we all were kind of on the same beat, and we weren't. Clearly, the song you and I have going in our head, Corey, no one else knows.
No, it's fine. Look, it's our song, Stoy.
Exactly. It is.
Was it that, or is it just the ones that have rhythm where we're sitting still and just thinking you guys are having a seizure?
Nope. I'm sorry, you just can't appreciate music, Jesse.
Seizures can have rhythm too, Jesse. Okay.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
When you listen to EKG monitors all day like I do at work, you kind of come with a beat. It's like boop, 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 whatever.
Yeah.
So
you gotta just kind of write your own music to the beeps of the I'm just gonna stop right there before anything.
I mean, you know how it is. There's a beat everywhere. Like you'll just be like sitting there wandering, and then someone will just be like tapping something, and then you'll just be like, "Hey, that's not bad." And then you ever try to wonder like what it is they're tapping? I don't know if you can really determine it. I was having a conversation with a friend of mine about this. So like if I tap something and I don't tell you what it is, can you figure it out?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, there's definitely been times where I've seen people like out, like on the bus, who are like jamming out, playing the air drums to whatever they're listening to, and I'm like, oh, I wonder what they're listening to.
Right? Yeah, no kidding.
Right. Speaking of wondering what we're listening to, the fourth chair this week, and from Nintendo Power Block and the Boss Rush Network, our friend, that retro code, Eddie V.
Hello, everybody. Thank you guys for having me.
The man who's making me host Nintendo Power Block tomorrow because I gotta work because I took off the weekend to go see my friend Jesse.
I thought Jacob was hosting.
You sent me a message like 2 days ago. It said, "Now I gotta look it up. Now I gotta look it up."
I don't know, maybe you got the night off, Corey. You never know.
Yeah.
Oh, there's all these emojis I send, or GIFs that I send Ed because he bothers me in the middle of the night.
I did not bother you in the middle of the night.
Let's see. Hold on, I'm almost there, guys. I'm almost there. By the way, Ed, you owe me a pizza for calling Sora in Super Smash Brothers 2 years ago.
I told you that I will.
I'm just putting it on record that I called it 2 years ago.
And now I know. So
what pizza are we getting?
I don't know.
We're gonna hold you to it.
Well, hopefully I get to go see him next year, so we can get pizza and Thai food and all the other places.
Pizza and Thai food.
Ed, where's this message you sent me? You sent it to me.
Looks like you're not hosting tomorrow. You got the night off, Corey.
Sounds like a bad decision. I'm just kidding.
Whatever.
I'm just kidding. Look. People love Jacob on Nintendo Power Block. I'm just saying. People love Ed and Jacob. Okay. I don't want to disturb the peace, even though technically it was my show for 225 episodes. Okay.
Yes.
Who's Jacob? Why am I drawing a blank?
Galatrad.
Oh, that guy. Okay, all right.
I know. David said that the other day. He's like, we were talking about website stuff, and he's like,
he's one passionate dude.
He's like, I made Jacob. I made Jacob. I'm like, who's Jacob? Because like we just call him Galatrad all the time, and I'm just like, oh, I feel so stupid. But also,
it's all right.
Oh wow,
it's okay.
Also, Jacob's a great name.
I gave a shout out to Block on our podcast this morning, and I was like, I don't know his real name, so I was like, shout out to Block on his podcast, his video series, Block's Gaming Reviews, because he did that video on Eternal Darkness that was really good. So
Yeah.
shout out to my man
Can,
Block, and I don't know his real name, but
can we just say that Block's reviews are really awesome and
it's the accent.
hilarious?
It's the accent.
It's the accent, it's the delivery.
100%. 100%.
Of course it is, but it's also the delivery and his like one-liner jokes that are pretty hilarious too. I want more people to find Block because his reviews are really relaxing. When I'm editing and something, I'll throw it up on the TV just to like have something on the background.
Yeah.
It's one of my go-tos. Gotta say, Block's gaming reviews on YouTube.
He's got that soothing Texas accent that just
That's raw.
He's from Kentucky.
Ooh, okay.
He's like 4 hours from me.
Wow.
I could go say
Another
hello.
state with some good food.
In Kentucky?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
I think they have good fried
Eddie's
chicken.
mind always has to go to like, man, he's got some really good.
No,
food
because
over
I've been to Kentucky, and I
Clearly not the same part of Kentucky that I've been to.
I've been to KFC.
We drove through Kentucky. That's about.
think we all have.
No, I
Drive
dated a girl who lived just outside Cincinnati for a long time, and we would go to Kentucky when I went down there. Yeah.
It's a rough place.
I wouldn't say rough. It's just colorful, but in the whitest way
Different.
possible.
Okay. Sounds like Kentucky.
Super suburban.
So. Anyways.
Max said hi, Ed.
Hi, Max.
Oh, he wasn't saying hi to me. Okay, you don't care about me.
No. Hi, Stoy.
Hi, Corey.
Hey there, Corey and Stoy. How's it going?
Whatever. Shut up, Jesse.
Shut up!
Shut up. Corey and I are talking.
Gosh. All right. This is
You don't participate in Turbo Time, so you go sit down.
Turbo Time.
Wow.
Man, Jingle All the Way. What a flick. What a flick.
Still haven't seen it.
You haven't?
Don't.
I liked it. I love it. It's good.
Don't. I got that from what was it? That show on Netflix. I Think You Should Leave.
Oh,
You ever
yeah.
see that skit? Has this ever happened to you?
I don't think I've
That's
ever
where I
seen
got that from. And then the guys all of a sudden jump up and they sell it's Turbo Time, and they run around the house and they start jumping on the couches.
Wow.
You got to see it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
We have a podcast to run here.
We do. You know why? Because this is Arsenal X, the Xbox podcast part of the Boss Rush Network, where each and every week we come together with our friends from around the internet to talk about everything we love about Xbox, including news, rumors, Game Pass, your questions. You can email the show at arsenalxpodcast@gmail.com or leave a comment on the latest video episode. If you listen on iTunes, please leave us a 5-star rating and a nice review. Remember, you can find all of our shows and content on bossrush.net. Follow us on Twitter at Boss Rush Network. We're going to jump into what we've been playing. Stoy, you brought up a game in the chat that said we better be playing this game, and spoilers, I did not.
Oh, man. Eddie, I think you've heard me talk about this game, Procession to Calvary.
Yes. You did.
I played it. Yeah, I played it on the Nintendo Switch a while ago, and it came out on Game Pass just a couple days ago.
Oh,
So
okay.
you guys have to play it. It's like an art meme painting, walking simulator. It's pretty good. It's
Right,
pretty
because you told us, me and Celeste, we should check it out for Talk the Walk. I think we're gonna do it when she comes back.
Very cool.
Because it has that Mighty Python style of animation, and it's funny.
Oh, yeah.
But I just gotta get it. It's there's 2 games, right? There's is it just one? I
Well,
thought that
I
one had
think-
a sequel.
I think that developer made one way like a couple years ago,
Uh,
but he kickstarted this one, and then it became successful, obviously. So he, it's kind of funny because you know how Kickstarter games usually has they have like a museum wall of all the backers and stuff.
yeah.
So you can actually access that wall in the game, where you can walk up to the guard and the guard's like, "Sorry, this is for backers only," and they actually say that in the game. And they're like, you can't enter. And then you said, you can respond, well, I'm a fucking backer, so you better let me in. The guy's like, oh, I'm so sorry. Like, come on in, and like, it doesn't matter if you're a backer or not, you can still access it. But it's kind of a funny little game for sure. It's probably the funniest game I've played so far this year. Like, it's just, man, the way they take some of these art paintings and just rip them in to be like, memes, it's hilarious.
Yeah, I had to pick it up. Cause you said it's on Switch, so I pick it up there.
Yeah, that's where I first picked it up, and then it just came out on the Xbox, and I think it was out on PC like a year ago too.
Oh, okay, cool.
But
yeah, I did play it, but I couldn't get very far. I couldn't figure out what I need to do next.
You could run around killing people if you want, Jesse.
I wanted
There's always
to.
that option. Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted
but
to.
The game will end.
It kept on saying that I couldn't kill anyone.
Yeah, you can. You can kill anybody you encounter. But the game will end prematurely if you kill too many people. I've learned that the hard way. Because it's one of those things where, like, if like you're trying to cross the boat, I think I talked about this particular scene where it's like you're trying to cross this river and you need a boat pass. So someone tells you, hey, go talk to that guy. He'll teach you to walk on water, and it's Jesus. And he's like in front of all his disciples or whatever. And then he hands you a boat pass. And he's like, hey, this is how I can walk on water. Haha, very funny. So it's whatever.
Yeah, that's weird. Because, like at the part, maybe I missed something. Maybe I missed like a button. Like, because you have the cursor that you move around to pick stuff. And like when I picked, like, would click on someone, it'd give you that little 3 bubble, option, and I would pick the sword to try to kill them or whatever, and then a person would just tell me that I can't do that.
Oh, you can continue. You can continue past through it. It doesn't matter. I don't recommend killing people in that game, though. Like I said, you don't have to.
I must be missing something then, some kind of like action or something that I'm missing, because I'm at some point where I got to try to go on the boat to take that boat somewhere, but he said I need to find like bring him straw or he told me I need to bring like hay or straw or something like that. I don't remember, or oats or something like that.
I want to give a special shout out to the guy in the chat who's asked very specific Arsenal FC questions. I'm a Liverpool fan, so you can see your way out the door there. Pranks in the hood. It's kind of just door is right behind you, 20 feet that way. So just see you later. Anyway,
I trust Stoy's judgment on football.
Otherwise, I reserved Back for Blood, the Ultimate Edition, and I got to play it 4 days early. So I've played a couple hours of it already.
Is it? It's officially out, right?
No, it doesn't come out till Tuesday.
Oh, it's Tuesday. Okay.
And I didn't realize that because I was expecting Far Cry 6, and then GameStop called me and they're like, "Hey, your copy of Back for Blood is here." And I was like, "But that game don't come out till next week." And they're like, "No, it's available for you, because I didn't realize I pre-ordered the $100 Ultimate Edition." So, let me tell you, I spent a lot of money this week.
Maybe you didn't mean to do that. Maybe it's just GameStop, just like getting at you. They're like,
they be like that sometimes.
They will do that.
But I've played Back for Blood solo only, and let me tell you, this game captures that same fun that Left 4 Dead had. And
Nice.
it's relentless onslaught of zombies. There's never any time to like really relax or really slow down. There's always, like you're getting bombarded. You got the ridden. That's what the zombies are called, because every zombie game or every zombie movie has to have some cool name for the zombies.
Yeah, it just can't be zombies.
Yeah, so they're just called the ridden, and they have these special, like, kind of obviously super ridden, where like they have a tall boy, which is some guy with a big mallet for a hand. They got this other guy that has this long tongue that sucks you down, that sucks you across the map. You have like a boomer where like if you shoot him, he blows up and he spits, puke on you and stuff. So it's very much Left 4 Dead, just the new generation.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I mean, The interesting thing about it is that this game has gotten a lot of hate lately because of the developers trying to focus more on the multiplayer aspects of this game and making it, seem like, oh, it's anti-solo play, and it's not really. You can have a lot of fun playing solo, and that's all I've done. I've logged in 3 hours of this playing solo, and I've just had a blast. Like, there's this talk about like the card system that this game has. So like you build out a deck of cards, so to speak, and I think in a solo campaign you can pick up to 15, and you can pick which one of those 15 in your gameplay session you want to play. So, a card can be like plus 10 health, or 20% quicker reload time, or carry an extra inventory item, carry an extra this, or whatever. So it's just stat boosts, whatever. Or like, increasing your luck to find more currency in the world. When you play solo, you get access to all the cards right away. If you were to play multiplayer with your friends, you have to earn them by creating some things that are called supply drops. So you go out to do campaign missions, you set up supply points, and then you can buy these cards that you can use. So it's actually easier to play with a good set of cards solo.
When you're playing solo, don't they still have computer controlled characters? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, AI.
Yeah, because I noticed that because I played the beta or whatever, and it was essentially the full, like, not the full game, but I mean you're playing like the beginning of it, and yeah, and I tried both ways. I tried where I did online mode where it would put me with random other people playing, and I did the bot solo, and yeah, I didn't find any issues whatsoever doing that. I had a lot of fun.
Yeah, so, this game is a ton of fun. Like, so many different weapons to choose from, so many different, like, you can customize your weapons to have different scopes, different stocks, different muzzles. Obviously you could change them cosmetically. You could change your characters cosmetically. So it's like basically Left 4 Dead, but taking like everything multiplayer games have learned over the last few years in terms of like weapon choice and cosmetic choices and whatever. But so like the first act, like there was this mission. You have to cross this destroyed bridge, go into this ship that's capsized, whatever, and you get out of the other side of the ship, and you meet this like group of like that are from this camp, whatever, and they're like, hey, we got to destroy that bridge, so take this C4, go back into that ship and plant the bomb. And it's like, I just went through that ship. What the hell kind of campaign is this? So that's where the game gets kind of fun, to where you get these like specific goals and these specific missions to plant the bomb and then try to run while the horde is really coming at you. It's kind of reminiscent of Left 4 Dead in that way too. Sometimes they give you extra campaigns too as well. Like they'll give you carry this pack of blood through the mission. And when you carry this pack of blood, it takes up an inventory slot. So it adds a little bit of difficulty and a little bit of, I guess expert mode, because then it takes up an inventory slot. So you can't carry a particular grenade or Molotov cocktail or whatever. So there's so much replayability in this game. It's crazy.
That's basically their modern version of the carrying the, what was it? I think it was a gnome or a garden gnome that you had to carry in Left 4 Dead 2.
Kind of, but the garden gnome, you can use it as a weapon. This takes up an inventory slot.
Okay.
So, yeah, I remember that one person at the party had to carry that stupid gnome, and it was like, yeah, you could use it as a weapon, but still. Jeez. I haven't encountered anything like that yet, but I wouldn't be surprised if they put it in there.
Yeah.
So otherwise, I played Far Cry 6. So far, so good, but it's Far Cry. Metroid Dread is really good. Eddie, I'll let Eddie talk about that one. And I played Visage for the Xbox, and because that just came out on Game Pass this last week. And yeah, that game's spoopy, fellas.
Spoopy games.
It's spoopy game. It's spoopy game month, and I was like, that's a perfect spoopy game to play in October. it's basically PT but like on steroids. Like it's so good.
Mm.
And freaking it freaks me out, man. It's just there's times in the game where it freaks me out, and then there's times where it's frustrating as hell.
Sounds awesome.
It's like you need a walkthrough sometimes. Like I was, there'd be times I'd be lost and I'd be wandering around, and wandering around kind of gets you killed in this game because you have sanity meters that go up. So if you spend a lot of time wandering around trying to find things, like your sanity meter goes up, and that's when the higher your sanity meter goes up, the crazier things happen. Lights will spontaneously turn off. Doors will spontaneously slam. Sometimes you'll see a crazy specter lady at the end of the hallway, or like she'll come up and turn you around and stab you in the stomach. Like it's just, man.
Is it they're taking like on eternal darkness, like sanity meter, in a sense?
You know what this sounds like? You know what this sounds like is the Dreamcast game Illbleed.
I don't remember playing that.
It was like really rare. I did you ever play the game Blue Stinger?
I played Blue Stinger. Yeah, I have it.
Yeah, it's set in that universe. There's 3 games set in that universe. One is Illbleed, one is Blue Stinger. I forget what the third one is, but like Illbleed takes place in this weird like haunted house type thing, and you have to use like this sanity meter to like see where enemies are, see where traps are, or whatever, and like you have to get through the whole game without any of the characters dying. And this sounds kind of like that in terms of like what the meter does and everything.
Yeah,
Illbleed is very expensive. I sold my copy for almost $200 last year.
Yeah,
well, I was just gonna say I was gonna start to look that up, but
it's going for like 360 right now, and some
never mind.
Some are selling it for 550.
No thanks. What racket some of these games are. Jeez. Otherwise,
Gosh.
I almost feel like I'll talk about it a lot more when we talk about our topic this month, but or for today. But yeah, it's like the game punishes you for kind of wandering around, and not everything is apparent. Not everything will have an objective. Like at one point, it's like you pick up a compass, and it's like, what am I going to do with this compass? What am I doing with this compass? It doesn't tell you like, hey, go outside and use the compass to work your way around. Like I had no idea I had to do that. Like I don't know. It's just they don't hold your hand. The game, you boot up the game and it tells you in like bold letters, Visage is a hard game. You're going to have to spend a lot of time exploring and picking up things. So playing this with a walkthrough is probably keep that on deck. Keep that on deck because I pulled that up sometimes whenever I got lost.
Yeah.
So
I could see though where you want to have it on deck, but you don't want to use it unless you absolutely have to, because you still want, if you still want to have that experience of getting scared or whatever, then like you don't want to know too much, but you want to know just enough to get to the through the game.
At least enough to know the objective of what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, exactly. The exploration part of it is the kind of the fun part, and the kind of like that sanity meter kind of freaks you out a little bit because like I remember like my wife was watching me play, and I was walking up to a door that was wide open, and the door just slams shut right in front of me. And she laughs at me. She's like, "Why would you close that door when you're trying to walk through it?" I was like, "I didn't close that door." Ooh. So she was like, "What?" Yeah. There was a couple of scenes where it's like you turn this corner down this dark hallway and you see something there, and you're looking at it like, I don't want to go that way, but I know I have to go that way. I don't want to go that way.
Nope.
And
don't make me go that way.
I know, and it's like, all right, I guess I'm gonna go that way. So you take a deep breath and you go that way. And usually, most of the time, it's never like, okay, that was scary as shit. But yeah, so it's good. It's good. It's a perfect game to play this year. It has chapters in it. So like I skipped and played chapter 2 for some reason. So, and that took me a couple hours to play through, especially since I got lost a lot, like a lot.
Okay. Yeah, I have it downloaded. I haven't touched it yet though.
It's
because it's right up my alley. So
yeah, you'll enjoy it, but don't be ashamed. I'm not ashamed. Don't be ashamed if you look up a YouTube video on how to get through it. So
okay, yeah.
Feel ashamed.
Otherwise,
Always
I
feel
still been playing.
ashamed.
Corey, come on.
Play through all games on hard mode with no walkthrough.
Bro, we ain't got time for that. I played 6 games in the last 3 days because I've also been playing Evil Within 2, and I think I'm almost done with that, thankfully. But yeah, spoopy game month, boys.
Yeah,
it is. I'm playing.
That's
I'm going to play Metroid Dread. That's the spookiest game I'm going to play all month.
Ooh, so spoopy.
It is. There's robots that chase you. That's spoopy.
Can I say, Eddie, I had a hard time with the jumping mechanics in this game.
and Metroid.
Really?
Yeah, it took me a while to kind of get the timing down.
For the wall jumps?
For the wall jumps, because every indication in my head thinks like, okay, if I'm wanting to do a wall jump, I have to point the directional button toward the wall and then jump, but that's not how it works. So like a lot of times I'm trying to do a wall jump and I'm like failing, and I'm like, how the hell this is not how this is supposed to work. But once I figured it out that you don't have to do that, it kind of made things easier.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it has
Anyway.
it almost feels like it's automatic in a sense.
Yeah, for sure. Because I grew up in the Ninja Gaiden days where I had to, So,
Yeah.
but that's all I've been playing.
Nice.
All
Nice. Jesse, what are you playing?
I played a little Forza Horizon 4 just because I felt like jumping back into that game, and I bought the season pass, so I had a whole bunch of spins waiting for me, because that's the great thing about that game is you don't play it for a while and you got 30 spins and just, I got this car I just unlocked and this car and this outfit and I had over. Well, let's see. I think when I started the game up, I had maybe $2.5 million to buy stuff, and by the time I was done with all my rolls, I had 8 million. So I kept on hitting all the money rolls and stuff, and so I bought some of the more expensive cars. I think I bought the most expensive Lamborghini that was like 3 million or something by itself. And so, yeah, I played a little bit of that, but otherwise, I actually started up the Alan Wake Remastered. That's the only game I've bought this so far this week. I do want to get Far Cry, and I do want to get Metroid Dread and stuff like that, but I'm waiting for right now. But yeah, Alan Wake, I really like how it feels. I mean, there is a little bit of it that kind of still feels, a little old, but everything looks wise and stuff, it looks great. It plays really well. I still think, even if you didn't play that original game, if you're used to your Resident Evils and stuff like that, you'll still kind of be able to play that, with ease. Because I'll be honest, it's been quite some time since I finished that game, and I think the last time I finished it was during Xbox One, when Xbox One was out. So it's still been quite a few years. And I haven't, I never really did get a chance to play any of the extra stuff
DLC.
for it. So yeah, because if I remember correctly, that's all just kind of added onto this game. So I want to play through this so I can kind of get that extra stuff that I never experienced yet. So it's kind of cool. I like how when you're in certain areas, you'll just see QR codes on the wall or something, or hidden in a picture or whatever, and then you can take it will take you to a video or something that you can watch on your phone, and things like that. So there's some interesting, cool things that it does. So yeah, I'm enjoying that, and that's mostly what I've been playing. Yeah.
Cool. Ed?
Sick.
Ed,
Yes.
what are you playing?
For PlayStation, I started Kenna.
Whoa,
Bridges of
whoa,
Spirits.
whoa, whoa. This is an Xbox podcast, Edward.
I started Kenna
I'm
Bridges of
I'm just
Spirits.
kidding.
I started that up. It's a good game. I'm enjoying it. Just got to play a little bit more. It still has some stiffness to it at some parts. I'm like, okay, probably because I am playing it on PS4, not PS5. But it's a good game. For Xbox, I started up Sagebrush. This is a game that Celeste recommended to me for Talk the Walk. And it's a walking simulator about a cult, and you kind of got to find out what happened to the people in this religious cult. And you kind of find out who the characters are and the backstory. It's like when I got it, it was only like $4, so it wasn't that much. It don't feel like it's too long of a game, but I definitely gonna have to talk to Celeste about it. It's kind of spooky and everything, but it's kind of like, this is a little bit cliched. But it's a fine game. Started up Dead Space 3 on Series X, and it's very much an action-packed game. You know, I'm feeling like, this is not really a scary, like spooky game, but it has more of that Resident Evil 5 kind of feel, where it's supposed to scare you, but it's so gameplay heavy, like with the guns and stuff. That's how I kind of feel about it. So it's nothing too bad. And of course, Sales of Arise. But focusing on Metroid Dread, and wow, this is not Game of the Year. I don't know what it is. Literally, Mercury's system and Nintendo got together, party played Metroid Other M, Metroid Fusion, Samus Returns. Like, they really went in and kind of perfected everything. It's very challenging.
Some people say this is the best Metroid game ever made. I read a review somewhere that said that. I don't know how true that is, but I read it.
Whatever. These people forget that Super Metroid exists.
So I think a lot of people have been saying, yeah, it's the best, but this is their first time playing Metroid.
Yeah.
You know, and it's kind of just like, it's great that you feel like this is the best, but you gotta understand like why this series is the way that it is, and why Super Metroid is still kind of held as the best game of all time. But I'm really enjoying it. The cutscenes are fantastic. They are so good. And the MI or Emmy, they do chase you, but they present that good tense, that good suspense. Like, are they going to get me, or are they, are they not going to get me? Am I going to get away? Because you could literally be at a door that you're about to exit, and if they see you, they shut it. And so now you got to dip and run, so you can get away from it. They do offer the ability to counterattack. They kind of teach you that one.
Sure. I'm sure they do, Eddie. I'm sure that counterattack is so easy to use, right?
You got to.
I saw the Ron's tweet. He said he got killed like 1 million or something times. And he's I counted him 7 times.
The counter is like, there's no telltale. I don't know. I'm pretty sure there's a telltale part.
Yeah. So
I don't know when it is. I don't know where it is. I've guessed and been successful.
So it has like, if you watch anime or even Persona, it has like that star kind of shiny yellow. It's like a 4-way kind of imitation. So when you see that, that means counterattack. Hit the counter button and it will let you counter so you can get away.
I can't see that.
You have to pay attention. Yeah.
It flashes yellow.
It flashes yellow. In fact, it flashes and you hear it.
Okay.
So
I'm gonna have to YouTube this.
Yeah. So, but they are literally terrifying, and they did something way different than any of the Metroid games that I remember. Like, you start the game without going left. Like you can't go left in this game when you start it. You have to go right.
You can't go left. That's the only
most
thing.
of-
That's what you do in Metroid. You go left.
Yeah, you mostly start games in the Metro series that way, but
You go
not
left. You
this
get the,
one.
the morph ball, and then you roll under the thing, and then you jump down.
They changed.
Okay.
everything.
All right, I see it now. All right, it does flash yellow, but man, that is a very small window.
Very, yeah. And then sometimes you get hit it, but you got to also pay attention again because they'll still attack you.
Yeah.
And everything. So if
Because
you
there's
don't
2
get-
points where you can actually counter them. You can counter them
Yeah.
right away, or you can counter them like obviously when they pin you down.
Yes. The game looks gorgeous. It's running a good 60 frames per second. Like they really, from what you see of the trailers, is a good indication of what you're going to get. But then everything changes after that. Like there's some twists and turns that you do not expect. But the control is fantastic. One of the best 2D kind of games that uses the analog controller because you can't use the directional buttons. They're set for abilities that you'll be using. But yeah, the controls are tight. The boss battles are tense. Like you are going to die if you do not pay attention and you do not focus. So it's such a good game, and the slide motion that they put into here is so cool. They kind of make this almost an action style game while still being Metroid. You know, this is not a Metroidvania at all. This is literally pure Metroid. So
Good. That's what I like. I like the first Metroid. It's my favorite Metroid. I know it's probably the worst one and probably hasn't aged the best, but doesn't matter.
Last but not least, played Streets of Rage 4.
Hell yeah.
Just like I said, working on my survivals. I'm almost done with it, getting my characters up and everything. But man, the game is literally it's still so good playing that game. Don't like the soundtrack. I just literally playing with the headset that I have, the Bluetooth headset. Yeah, don't like the soundtrack at all. I thought it was good, but no, I'll stick to Streets of Rage 2 for the soundtrack.
Mm-hmm.
So, but that's pretty much it. I did get Far Cry 6, but I haven't started it yet.
Nice. Well, for me,
I had to mute myself. Sorry, Eddie.
we just sneezed, so. Nice.
Nice.
Sick, as Stoy would say.
Sick.
Two kids are sick.
Oh no!
Coming at me.
I was gonna say, I'm not that impressed with the graphics on Metroid Dread. I don't think that. I mean, it runs smooth, but I think the textures are a little bit muddy. So, but it definitely runs smooth, and I'll give them that. Like that's. I mean, I would say like if you want good textures or good frame rate, I go good frame rate all the time because I like the silky smoothness of it, especially with something with this where it's like, you know, the game is so like you have to be hyper focused on technique and, you know, running and platforming and shooting and combat. So, you know,
I think it's because you're looking at the environment, and when Samus is in motion, you're just focusing on the action, so you kind of really don't pay attention to the graphics. But yeah, I mean, I can understand, but I'm just like, presentation wise and execution, top notch, literally top notch.
Cool. I plan on playing it this week. I just haven't really had a lot of time to do anything because, well, I've been working a lot, but I also quit my job this week, which was really nice to do.
Sick.
Don't worry, guys. It's not like I'm just going to sit at home. I have another job. It's fine.
Or do it anyway. Set it up.
Oh, by the way, there is one more thing I just wanted to talk about really quick.
Oh my gosh, Jesse.
Oh God, Jesse.
You had your time.
Really quick. I played the Battlefield beta because it was free with Game Pass, but it ended I think today, this morning already. But dude, that map that you play on So it's 128 players in the big the big battle.
Mhm.
It was 100. There was 128 players in the match, and like the map, like how it's built, and the the different textures and things in there, like trees and bushes and all that. It very much feels like a Far Cry map. Like, imagine just like the big open Far Cry map, and a whole big war, like with tanks and planes and helicopters all happening in a war zone world, or in a Far Cry, on a Far Cry map. That's really how it felt. So I'm really excited for this one, because it's just so cool, like how you can hide in bushes and stuff, and kind of like, because you can actually hide in a bush like a sniper, dressed up with the ghillie suit on, with a sniper, and actually blend in to 3D objects a lot more than you could even in the last ones.
Sounds like you're camping, bro.
Yeah, I mean, snipers do that. I mean, in Battlefield games, games are played like an actual war, and not just running around and jumping and spinning and trying to get no scope headshots like a Call of Duty game. But yeah, so that's all I wanted to add. Is that beta definitely made me super excited for it, and it is going to be enough of a change and an upgrade, I think, from the last consoles games that they've released so far. So, because it will be different on the old consoles, even though it's still coming out for them, it's not going to be as good from what it sounds like. But so yeah,
that's all right. Sorry, I know I haven't been talking for the last 40 minutes, but now that I'm about to talk, my son decided to start crying really loud.
Oh no!
Really loud. So, apologies. I'll clean it up in post. It's fine. So I haven't really played a lot this week. I played a little bit of Sable this weekend, and
oh man, why?
I don't know. It's not very good. The frame rate really gives me a headache, or not the frame rate, because like it runs at a smooth 60, but like the characters animate at like 15 frames a second on purpose.
Yeah,
like on
it doesn't
purpose.
Match up. It
no,
doesn't match up. It's weird.
No,
yeah,
it's not great, and like between areas, you're just on this little like glider thing, and it's not really that fun to drive either. It's just like, this game is just like, I get that it was created by like 2 or 3 people, and like the art direction is distinct and whatnot, but boy, I'm glad I did not pay for this game. I'm gonna tell you,
it looked like the game had like it was gonna look really good at E3 when they showed it, and then when they put out that demo, I thought they would fix some stuff.
I mean, they definitely want you to think it's gonna be Breath of the Wild, and it's not. Like that's clearly the direction they're going for, with like a speeder bike, like a whatever. But it's
in a vast open world,
yeah. But it's just not. It's not good. I don't like it at all. So
yeah.
But other than that, I played a little bit of Tetris and Mario Golf, and that's it. That's it. Nothing.
Are you
exciting.
buying? Oh no, you got Tetris Effect on Game Pass. That's right.
So, well, I'm gonna get it for Switch. Why wouldn't I get it for Switch? It's Tetris. I need to take it with me, Ed.
That's what I wanted to get it for. Was Switch. I thought just because it was on Game Pass, you wouldn't get it for Switch.
No, I'm gonna get it for Switch. It's Tetris. I need to own it everywhere, Ed. Every version of Tetris, everywhere.
I want to hear. Yeah, I want to hear the music.
So, but
such a good soundtrack.
It is. It's very good. I like it.
Mizuguchi. He's one of the best.
Yeah.
I'm one of the only people in the world who was so unimpressed by that game.
Wait, what's this?
No, I know a buddy of mine, when I had it for the PSVR, when I had people over when we did Extra Life a few years ago, he played it and just ripped the headset off. He's like, I can't do it. It's the music and the sound effects that he couldn't get past. And I was like, I get the sound effects, because sometimes the sound effects can be really jarring.
Yeah.
You know, when you're like
Yeah,
trying to move your Tetris pieces, and it's like constantly. Sometimes that
Yeah.
can be kind of annoying.
Yeah, there was too much. There was just something that about it that just was too much. But yeah, I don't want to.
It's all right,
I don't,
whatever.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we're going to get into the news. We're going to start with a rumor, actually. This comes from purexbox.com. The rumor, gentlemen, is that Xbox Game Studios has only announced 1/3 of the games in its roadmap. First of all, I'm going to correct you. They have not given us a roadmap. They've just given us titles. They're not saying when they're coming out. Whatever. Anyways, small nitpick. It's fine. It's very clear that Xbox Game Studios has a massive future ahead of it with the likes of Fable, Perfect Dark, Avowed, and many other games in the pipeline, along with Bethesda's upcoming titles such as Starfield and Elder Scrolls 6. We already know that a lot's coming in the years ahead, but according to inside knowledge from Windows Central's Jez Corden, he estimated that only about 1/3 of the games from Xbox roadmap have been announced so far. Here's what Corden had to say when speaking in the latest Xbox 2 podcast episode. I would say out of the games I know, and there's games that I don't know about because I don't know anything that Bethesda is working on generally. I don't know about the Hideo Kojima game Jeff Grubb spoke about, and I've heard about some other games that aren't in the roadmap that I've seen. So as a complete ballpark estimate, this is a conservative low estimate, but I'd say about 1/3 of the games have been announced from Xbox Game Studios right now. Whoa! Where are we going?
Damn.
Jesus.
Where are we going?
That's
All kinds of sounds in this episode. Of course.
Playing MotoGP 2021.
oh no.
Oh no.
Forgot to mute it.
Of course, working on loads of games. A lot of games might be canceled, but I don't think they will because the information that I got is ellipsis. It sounds to me like these are happening. Who knows? I'm just so excited for the future right now. I'm so excited. So, man, a couple weeks ago, we kind of talked about the slate of Xbox games that have been announced and we know are coming. 1/3? That's a lot of games coming. What do you guys think?
I think it's good because I wondered that because I was like, with all these studio acquisitions, you think we expect to hear more. And I know Xbox like lately has been like trying to keep things close to the belt in terms of like they don't want to play their whole hand. And there's probably some big project that they're working on, like especially if the rumors that Hideo Kojima's been working with Xbox is if that's true or not, which I mean we don't know at this point. But yeah, I'm going to take this with a grain of salt still. Maybe 1/3 would be an overestimate or underestimate, I should say, or maybe overestimate. I don't know. But yeah, I know Xbox hasn't shown us all what they have. I know that for a fact. So it remains to be seen. We'll just patiently wait.
Well, we know that Compulsion's game hasn't been announced. We know that Obsidian has a couple projects in the works. We know that In Exile has a game that hasn't been announced, although that concept art has been kind of leaked and spread around. So what was it? Oh, we know the Coalition has 2 projects in the works. So, I mean, there's a lot that we don't know about. I'm kind of with you though, Stoy. Like I kind of think that 1/3 is kind of an over or underestimate, whatever means this is not enough or too much.
I would imagine probably half. Like we probably haven't seen half of what they have.
Yeah. Plus we know like 343 is hiring for another Halo project, like a spin-off project too.
Right.
Well, and there's like I know we had the whole talk already, where they're bringing was it Square Enix or whatever for the
Crystal
Dynamics
yeah,
for Perfect Dark.
Yeah. So I mean, like, who knows? Maybe they had some other like littler game that someone wanted to work on and like have a small team do that and knock that out quick, and then they wanted to get help with because I think they really do want to nail down Perfect Dark and, you know, like make it the best thing, you know, like really make it stand out. And so, like, you know, like they had been hiring for people to work on that for, you know, a long time. I think they still have been. And, you know, like, so if they can get a small project done first while they're really trying to make sure that they, you know, get that game to where they feel like it needs to be, like, I could see something like that happen. You know, there could be things, just small things happening that we just don't know about because we ultimately don't really understand, you know, how big or how many groups in some of these teams there might actually be, you know, like, and then, you know, in the Ninja Theory stuff too, they've got those two things that they're working on. I mean, we kind of know about, but we really don't. You know, like the Project Mara, we know about it, but we really haven't actually seen anything.
What kind of name is Jez anyway? I just thought about that, like Jez.
For Jezebel or something.
Jezebel. Okay, right. Why would you want to be called Jezebel though?
Who knows?
Yeah, whatever.
I think the 1/3, I kind of believe them in a sense because I think they're probably planning for year 23, 24, and what they're probably doing is getting like the R&D, gameplay ideas, writing scripts, doing art,
pre-production stuff.
Yeah, I think that's probably representing for the 1/3 is all that pre-production stuff because when they get ready to showcase it or announce it, I think we probably won't hear anything until 2 years from now, or even at 24 if they want to do a big event. So we'll probably find out what they have planned because right now the other stuff that's in production that they got for even just for next year is probably going to be soon wrapping up. And they're going to probably be bug testing it, you know, play testing it and getting all of that ready and making sure that, you know, when they release it, everything is out for all of the known stuff we do know. I believe Microsoft probably is, you know, just got stuff in pre-production. So that's the 1/3 that they're ready to release. That they're working on. And then they're hoping they're probably hoping that it doesn't get leaked. And then when they're ready to roll it out, people will be excited for what they have. Now, my thing is what genres are those 1/3 is going to be? Because if it's going to be the same kind of genre of stuff that we already played, that we know they're probably good.
I highly doubt it. They have a very diverse catalog of developers at their disposal, so I'm pretty sure there's going to be all manner of game genres that that's my hope, that's my concern. I'm just like, I hope that it's not a repeat of genres that we'll be playing throughout 2022. I hope that what they bring out is something new. I hope we get something like a Heavy Rain, or we do get like a walking simulator from what's up with you and Heavy Rain, man?
Yeah.
I mean
out of all the games you could pick to I hope we get something like Heavy Rain. That's what you came up with?
Because it's a quick time event kind of game, and Microsoft hasn't did anything like that.
No one likes quick time event games anymore. I think that genre is kind of faded.
Microsoft has Don't Not, so Don't Not could be working on something like that. So
I mean, they don't own Don't Not though. They just had a contract with Tell Me Why.
Tell Me Why and one of the other ones.
They don't own Don't Not. They don't.
I thought they did.
No,
because
Don't Nod's a Square Enix studio.
Yeah.
No, because they didn't do Life is Strange 3. It was a whole different development.
They switch back and forth. They alternate to get them out faster. It's Don't Nod and Tech 9 alternate between Life is Strange.
Oh, I thought Microsoft brought them.
No, they just published Tell Me Why.
Interesting.
Yeah, well, and I mean, like to your thing that you said though, Ed, I mean, like, who knows? I mean, one of the teams that Microsoft has could all of a sudden,
Twin Mirror was the other one.
Yes,
Twin Mirror. Oh, okay.
Twin Mirror exclusively came out to the Xbox first before coming out to the PlayStation 4.
Is it out yet? Is Twin Mirror out already?
Yeah, I played that last year.
Oh, I didn't realize it came out already.
It's actually really good.
Yeah, was that the it's a more horror game, right?
No,
Twin Mirror? No, okay, I
no.
must.
Twin Mirror is kind of a psychological kind of detective story, so to speak.
Okay, I
Yeah.
know I've seen it, but like what I was saying is, I mean, for all we know, we could see like like look what happened for the Horizon Zero Dawn. Like, I mean, they went from being a developer who made one thing and then completely turned it on its head and made something completely different. I do think we have some teams that are with Microsoft right now that are very, very good at what they do, but I do think that they can, if they wanted to, they could change it up a little bit.
I mean, look, they already
different.
are doing that though. Look at Playground, right? Like,
Yeah,
going from Forza Horizon to Fable. That's such a
Big
drastic
shift.
change.
yeah.
So
So I mean, I think there's just and like you said to add, like I do think that they really wanted, Microsoft wanted to sit down with a lot of these acquisitions and just be like, like, okay, we want to know very far in the future, like, what are some things that you would like to do? Let's get some stuff like kind of put down on paper and things that you would like to do, and just have stuff so once something's done, you already know what you want to do after that.
Well, yeah, that's development 101. I mean,
Yeah.
that's common sense.
And the other thing I was gonna say is, I think part of like having more stuff and more ideas, like with them, like kind of the new Unreal Engine just kind of more frequently being out now, for more people. Like, I can see where there's ideas that they have that they know aren't going to maybe be able to make it in this more recent game that they wanted to do.
Well,
but
the
they
development
have
kits only
stuff
started
for it.
coming out in the summer, so
Yeah.
we're talking like if you want to perfect a game in Unreal 5 engine, you're going to need at least a couple years development time just to get to know the engine.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, so I can see where there's projects that they have set for specifically the things they want to do on Unreal Engine 5, and so those are already planned out and put aside, and we just we know nothing about it.
Yeah, we'll probably see with Unreal like how much that cuts down development time. Like when these developers get probably to their second or third game.
plus, I think, like, besides a few select developers, I think that Microsoft pretty much universally using Unreal will allow other studios to, they'll be able to collaborate and be able to, trade, I don't know, secrets and assets and, coding ideas or whatever. So,
yeah, for sure.
Well, and once the DirectX 12 Ultimate stuff is finally, unlocked for the chips that are in the new consoles, and like that will make things, a little bit easier as well for development wise. But I would imagine they probably have that stuff unlocked for the kits already.
yeah.
But like that'll change some stuff too, and make things a little bit easier when it comes to performance, at least. So
Cool.
Speaking of Unreal, Grand Theft Auto: The Trilogy Remastered Collection is coming to Xbox One and Xbox Series, guys. There's not much to say about it except that it's celebrating 20 years since the release of Grand Theft Auto 3. The trilogy includes Grand Theft Auto 3, Vice City, and San Andreas. It's coming to the Xbox Series. Let's see, towards the end of the year, I think, is what they said it's coming.
Yeah,
So-
they haven't really announced the release date yet.
Yeah.
But, it's coming to iOS and Android in 2022 for some
Yeah.
reason.
Well,
Why
I
you'd
remember.
wanna-
Well, they released those games on iOS and Android already.
Yeah.
But they're just kind of packaging up, and it's
Re-release.
well, I don't think Vice City was on there on Android yet, and
Yeah.
iOS, was it?
maybe not. I don't know, because
I think-
the whole thing with Vice City is that soundtrack, though, right? Because like that soundtrack is so good.
That's my
Thanks.
one wish that I hope for. That I hope they maintain. I know that there's music licensing issues that they have to kind of go through, and
They're
so long as
Rockstar,
they pay
though.
the studios. Yeah, they got Rockstar money, so
They could pay those licenses off in like 3 hours of
Oh, yeah, for sure.
people playing GTA 5. So
Oh yeah, and because we all know this. I mean, this game, this remastered edition or whatever they call it, the definitive edition, they'll sell out like hotcakes. So they'll make their money back and then some.
I hope they like adjust some of the controls and make it more.
They are supposed to.
Modern, and because I mean, it's been a while since I played GTA, any of these games, right? But like, I remember having GTA 3 on PlayStation 3 or 4 or something, and like they didn't do whatever the PS2 classic one was, and they didn't do crap to those controls, right? Like they're just like, oh well, X is shoot, I guess, and circle is jump, and good luck.
Well, yeah, they said they're like literally bringing these games into Unreal Engine or something like that. Like it's completely in a different engine than what they were ever made in. So I would imagine since they got to do that anyways, they'll probably fix some stuff in there.
Yeah.
They are doing quality of life changes. That's already been confirmed. So
I'm just saying that they made those games on their own engine.
Yeah.
So.
I see. I'm not a big Grand Theft Auto guy, but I really liked Vice City a lot. I might get this. I'll probably get it on Switch though. I don't know.
It's the first time Grand Theft Auto is coming on the Switch on a Nintendo system, which is pretty cool.
No. Chinatown Wars was the first one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, on the DS. That's right. Yeah. Okay. Right.
That game was weird.
Yeah, that was an interesting one.
Yeah, it was cool, but it was weird. Definitely had evoked the 1 and 2 in GTA London, but I don't know. Are you guys going to check these out? Ed, I don't want to hear from you. We know how you feel about GTA.
I'm definitely getting them because, like you, Vice City.
Yeah.
Like that's really the one that I want.
I just hope they teach Vercetti how to swim. It was so weird that it was like, this guy lives in Miami. He pilots boats, but he can't friggin' swim.
No,
it's
like
I don't know.
The animation of him like going like this as he's drowned.
Yeah.
I think if they did like a compilation, like digital soundtrack, I would buy it. But other than that, remember when they released that Vice City soundtrack on CD, and it was like what,
4 box? It was like 4 CDs.
Yeah,
huge box set. Yeah,
because I did
so
like
good.
Game Radio. I did like Game Radio on Grand Theft Auto 3.
And the radio in Grand Theft Auto is so good.
Yeah,
like
they do a really good job picking the soundtracks.
Yeah, or even like the talk radio stuff. Like Laszlo's pretty good, and like some of the other things. Man, say what you will about those games mechanically, that some of the stuff they do in those games are pretty good.
Yeah,
I'll give them that.
It revolutionized like that open world stuff. I mean, whether you like them or not, I mean, they did like pave the way for like a whole genre of games.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Every game afterward, like almost every game, tried to emulate. Not every game, but like it's
I can't
spawned
say
so many clones.
I'll get in trouble. So
Ed, you are talking.
But obviously, it even
shut your mouth. Words are literally coming out of your mouth. We'll fight you.
Well, I mean, admittedly, yeah. I mean, I guess a lot of aspects of it, like looking back on it now, a lot of aspects of it can be overrated in terms of like quest giving and, some of the encounters that you go through in the game or whatever. But we have to give kudos to Rockstar in these 3 games. Like we said, that really paved the way for other games afterwards. I mean, there would be no Saints Row. There would be I imagine there wouldn't be any kind of games like Horizon Zero Dawn or any other game similar in that nature. I mean,
or if there were, they would be totally different than they are now. You know what I mean?
Totally different. Different.
I think a lot of people kind of point to GTA or Ocarina of Time for these like massive worlds that you can run around in, and like. Yeah, GTA 3 is like really small now compared to what GTA 5 or Red Dead Redemption 2 or The Witcher. Like these games are huge and massive, but like on PS2 that was revolution. It was mind-boggling. I had never seen anything like that before. You know, I mean, like, yeah, on N64, I thought Hyrule Field was huge, and like running around there and getting to Death Mountain or, you know, Zora's Domain was like, man, this place is huge. It feels like a real world that we live in. But then you go to GTA and, like, you know, it's a bustling city. There's cars everywhere, and like, you know, you could blow up a helicopter with a rocket launcher when you input the code. It was fun. Like, yeah, these games did something for the video game industry, and I think we just have to acknowledge that's they did something. So,
yeah,
right.
That's the tagline for the episode. GTA, it did something.
It did something.
All right. Speaking of doing something,
Oh, sorry. I was gonna just say the closest thing to it at that time would have been like Crazy Taxi or something, where you.
Oh God, Crazy Taxi.
Yeah, or Simpsons Hit and Run.
Yeah,
mm-hmm. Crazy Taxi though,
like
classic.
Yeah,
classic.
Yeah,
good soundtrack.
Yeah,
man, Crazy Taxi.
Here we go.
Our last story, Obsidian was approached by another major publisher before the Microsoft acquisition. Obsidian Entertainment, known in recent years for titles like Grounded, The Outer Worlds, recently revealed the studio was approached by another publisher prior to joining Microsoft. Quote, "We were approached by another major publisher, and I was having lunch with one of the main people at the publisher, and they said, well, have you ever thought about being acquired?" I said, "Yeah, of course." And then they ultimately said, "Well, we're just having a real hard time hiring people." So, it doesn't really go into...
I think this was EA.
See, I think it was 2K. I think it was 2K because it did end up publishing The Outer Worlds. Unless it was Bethesda.
That's true, yeah.
It could have been Bethesda, too.
Bethesda, I couldn't imagine being in because I'm looking at like a publisher that was struggling to hire people, and inside my head that leads to like, you know, maybe cultural problems, because I mean he even said in the quote it wasn't a right cultural fit. Mm-hmm. So I'm thinking something like EA or maybe even Take-Two that, you know, they want to bring in Obsidian to help diversify their lineup.
Right.
Actually, now that you mentioned Take-Two, I think I'm more into that.
Yeah. I just feel like Take-Two has a lot of that, hey, we're going to build an open world game, but we need this. Like, we have GTA, we have Red Dead, and if they were pitching Outer Worlds at that time, right, like, that filled a spot that, you know, maybe Fallout wasn't really hitting at that point, or Bethesda wasn't hitting at that point, so I don't know. I just feel like this is something 2K would have looked at, or Take-Two.
Yeah, I think it would have been a Western company like EA or Bethesda or something like that, because I'm like they're a company who makes like kind of these Western role playing games. So
it definitely, I don't think it would have been Bethesda. I think that would have been
yeah.
Obsidian is a direct competitor.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean the only thing is with the Fallout pedigree is there, right? With Obsidian. Right, that it's that Black Isles kind of separation thing, right, with Obsidian and Exile and however Bethesda acquired Fallout, right? That, I mean, that family tie is there, but you're right. I mean, I feel like Obsidian was created to kind of compete in that space instead of, you know.
What do you think? What do you think Blizzard could have hired them? Or could have acquired them before they went to Activision? Because I don't think it says what kind of year that they were approached. But like Blizzard was a big company back in the early 2000s. So I could see them teaming up with Obsidian and making games.
Like it could have been. I mean, it could have been someone like. Could have been Ubisoft, right? Because they were making South Park for them and a couple other things too. So, I don't know. I think it's interesting. I think Obsidian's always been kind of like that underdog team that always makes good things, right? They just have never really been funded properly or haven't been given enough time, right? Like KOTOR 2 was like the prime example of, hey, we built this game in like 9 months. Help.
Yeah.
So
Were they almost like kind of like Insomniac, where they kind of like were just making games for companies, in a sense?
I mean,
Like
they were a big independent studio that was working contract after contract after contract, right? So, I mean, you look at their pedigree: KOTOR 2 for EA, they did South Park for Ubisoft, they did Fallout New Vegas for Bethesda. Like they have a pedigree in all these different areas. So
They did Alpha Protocol for Sega.
oh man, Alpha Protocol. Wait, does that mean that Microsoft owns Alpha Protocol now?
No,
No,
Sega
Sega.
owns it.
God,
No, I
damn
looked it
it.
up. I looked it up because I was like, Alpha Protocol 2, please. But Sega still owns it, and they're doing nothing with it.
You
God,
might be surprised. It might be coming back.
that'd be cool though.
No, it's not, Eddie.
Don't
it's
give us
not.
hope, Ed. Don't give us
Sega
hope.
said they-
Ed.
Sega said they were interested in reviving a lot of their old properties.
Look,
That
Ed.
was-
Sega said a lot.
Look, Ed also
Sega
thinks
said a
Arms
lot.
2 is coming to the Switch. So
Hey, still got. Hey, I might have not got it this year, but that doesn't mean that it won't show up at this year's E3 or Nintendo Direct.
Wasn't that like 2 years ago? Or
Ah.
Ed's been
Yeah.
saying it for like what? How old's the Switch? 4.5 years. So 3.5 years. He's been saying that.
Hey,
It's
Keep
okay.
dreaming, kid.
everybody talked. Ed, you said about the same thing for Sora and Smash, and look what happened.
I know. Dreams do come true, guys.
So there might be.
Except
an
that
Arms
Square, I'm very upset at Square for putting the cloud versions of these games on Switch.
How do you put? How can you not put a physical copy or at least a digital copy of a PlayStation 2 game
That's what
on
I'm
your
saying.
system?
Look, okay,
Get your
so
shit together.
Kingdom Hearts
Get it
3
together, Nintendo.
Kingdom Hearts 3 I understand a little bit, right? Even though like
Yeah.
there are lesser games or bigger, more what
Listen,
do you call
if they
it?
can get The Witcher 3 to
Yeah.
run on a Switch,
Thank you.
They can get Kingdom Hearts 3 to run on a Switch.
Thank you. That's what I was trying
Don't
to say.
give me that. Don't give me that.
My brain is burned, so I just
But
thank you.
I'm
for-
helping you, Corey.
Thank you,
Did you
Stoy.
Did you read the story about it on why they did it?
No,
Well, someone.
it's a bunch of BS. Nobody
No,
cares.
because honestly, they put 10 Kingdom Hearts games out there.
on the cloud.
So that's I think that's why, because they want to, get as many arts titles as they can.
So
on
they
there.
said it's probably because of time and money. They said if they try to get it all on a cart, it would have been a lot of money that they
Good.
had to use.
More
in
people would
time.
have bought it. That's all I'm saying.
Exactly.
More people would have bought it. You got to spend money to make money.
And who knows what
That's
they
what-
would have charged with the 64 gigabyte cartridge.
That's what people say.
Yeah, no kidding.
I mean, they could have.
So
Don't get me started. I'm sure we're going to talk a lot about it
Do
on
you-
Nintendo Power Block tomorrow.
do you
That's-
want to hear the title? No, never mind. Yeah, that's right. This is an Xbox podcast, but
Even
it's
though
just-
I own all the Kingdom Hearts games on Xbox right now.
okay. But just some of the names of these Kingdom Hearts games, it's like,
They're great.
what? No,
They're great.
no.
You shut your mouth.
No,
Dream drop
shut your mouth.
distance.
Hey, that's a cool name.
Rechain of Memories 358/2 days. What the hell is that? Birth by Sleep.
If you play the game, you'll find out what the titles mean. They make sense if you play the game.
Kingdom Hearts Point 2. Birth by Sleep. A fragmentary passage. What the hell is that, Corey?
Kingdom
is that?
Hearts 5. Choke hazard. Sleep number. Bet.
Jesse, you shut up. There's not even a 4 yet. Whatever.
Anyways, I'm very happy that Obsidian was acquired by Microsoft, and now we get sweet games like Avowed and the Outer Worlds and Outer Worlds 2 and
Sick.
Grounded that Jesse plays sometimes, and
Sure.
nobody else with their creepy arachnophobia mode.
Wow.
As always, Stoy is going to tell us what's coming to Game Pass in our new segment. Pass it on, Stoy. What's coming to Game Pass this week?
Well, the last couple days, we had 2 shadow drops. We had the Procession to Calvary drop on the Xbox Game Pass service. And this is, like we talked about in the beginning of the podcast, a Monty Python art meme painting series come to life, so to speak. The Crusades are over, but your character still wants to kill. So you've been sent on a quest to go kill this old king, and you have to find a way to get to this king in order to kill him. so to satiate your thirst for blood. Anyway, also Visage came out. That came out on October 7th as well. This is the spookiest game that you'll play, I think. This is about as close to PT, I think, as you're going to get, like in terms of gameplay and just quality, because the quality is top notch on this one. Otherwise, you're going to see Back for Blood come out on October 12th. So if the things you heard me say still got you kind of questioning it, you could get Back for Blood. That's coming out October 12th. Destiny 2, my guy. Beyond the Light is going to be coming out. That's only for the PC, though. That's coming out October 12th. You got Ring of Pain coming out for the 14th. Rift Breaker and the 14th. And Eddie, this one's for you. Do you think that when you go to sleep at night that you turn into a cat? That you turn into a cat and you roam the city?
I guess so. Yeah.
It sounds like a yes. Well, I have a game for you. It's called The Good Life, made by Swery.
Ed, go like this for a minute.
There we go. Perfectly fitting. So apparently in The Good Life, you basically are investigating this town where everybody turns into cats in the middle of the night, and no one knows that they do it. I have no idea what this game is about, but yeah, this one's coming out on the 15th this week as well.
Is that this mystery game where it's like a female, she's like a lead, and then at night she turns into a cat? Okay.
Yeah. Everybody in the town turns into a cat, so she turns into a cat as well. And this was a Kickstarter game, and one of the stretch goals in this game, in this Kickstarter campaign, was if they reached a certain goal that they would implement dogs. And the moment that they said that, all of a sudden, like bam, instantly, like they achieved their goal. So.
Nice.
Everybody loves dogs for some reason.
Yes, you do. Everybody likes a good dog.
Yep, exactly.
Let me tell you.
So yeah,
if you a good dog companion in a game will draw me in every time.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That's why
especially if you play Far Cry 6, where your first animal campaign is a crocodile.
Nice.
I mean, you end up getting a dog eventually, but
yeah.
I like a good dog. Let me tell you. Breath of the Wild, you have a dog. Fallout, you have a dog. Just throwing that out there.
Blair Witch game, you got a dog.
That's fair. Another spooky
So that's
game.
what's coming out this week for Game Pass.
Neat. Great job, Stoy. Always on top of it.
Thank you.
Always on top of it.
Thank
so,
you.
Our main topic this week, brought up by Stoy. We're gonna talk about the spookiest games on Game Pass and what you should probably be playing this Halloween on Game Pass. Stoy,
It's Spoopy Game Month, guys.
I'm gonna have you take this one, Stoy.
Okay. Well, I think if you go on Game Pass right now, there's actually a category on the Game Pass menu where you can like cycle through all the categories and genres. And it's called Spooktober, obviously, because whatever.
Gross.
And I think there's about like 60 games that are listed on there that are like, perfect games to play, perfect spooky games to play during the month of October. Some of them are kind of interesting, like Fallout 76 is on here.
The apocalypse is scary, Stoy. Don't you know?
I guess. And Batman Arkham Knight, I guess that can be considered kind of scary.
Scarecrow is scary.
Yeah, I guess.
Gotham is a scary place.
Yeah. So, but there's a lot of different games out there. Like obviously Alien Isolation, that's terrifying. Dead by Daylight, that's a perfect one where you're basically playing as serial killers. For some reason, only Dead Space 2 is available on Game Pass. So, but that's on EA Play. That's on EA Play.
I thought they were all on
three
there.
should be on there.
Yeah,
I didn't.
All three are on EA Play.
Oh yeah, there they are. It's weird because I'm looking at the website and like they put Dead Space 3 like in a separate.
Okay.
category.
It's because it's not spoopy.
I
It's
guess.
actiony.
Yeah, there you
Yeah.
Remember, Ed already discussed this at the top of the show.
So, yeah, like I mean, some of the other ones, you got all the Five Nights at Freddy's games. You got a couple of the Walking Dead seasons. Have you guys ever played Alice: The Madness Returns?
Yes.
On 360?
I've seen it, but haven't.
I used to be that
that
guy who was obsessed with like Nightmare Before Christmas and all these, all that kind of stuff, and that kind of fits in that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It was good. It's a neat platformer type game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's really good. It was a really, really interesting premise, and it was made by what's his name, American McGee, where he made a lot of graphic novels. So this one was an interesting take on Alice in Wonderland.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, The Medium, which is a really good game made by Blooper, who obviously well known for Layers of Fear and Blair Witch as well, and the Evil Within games. Obviously, I talked about that already.
Mm-hmm.
And Outlast, that's another one. Quake, the original Quake, the remastered version or whatever, or the re-resed. I don't know what you call it. Hollow Knight is another one.
Is that
a
spoopy game? That's not.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's
Just
it
because
is.
because it's dark doesn't mean it's spoopy.
Yeah.
There's a lot of
And I think
colorful
that's
games that are scary.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of when you look at some of the lists, like even like Hellblade, Senua's Sacrifice
Mm-hmm.
is listed under like Spooktober games. It's like, all right, I mean, it's kind of terrifying in its own way.
So I think this is more like the theme is dark, stuff that is dark and not really survival horror.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
That's-
absolutely.
You think of survival horror, and I think these are just things that's. Oh, go ahead, Corey.
Oh, I was just gonna say. I mean, the Wolfenstein games are on here too. Like, I mean, those games
Yeah.
aren't scary. Like, I mean,
Doom Eternal.
I guess
is on here, the
technically,
Doom games.
if the Nazis took over, it would be kind of scary. But I mean,
But it's
Yeah.
dark and it's theme in a sense.
Yeah, and I guess that's where it's like, horror comes in many forms. Obviously, Ed, we talked about this. Austin wanted a spooky game to play this month, and I recommended Visage. And then I saw you recommended Heavy Rain, and I was like, how is that scary? But Austin kind of came up with, well, it's kind of like a thriller in a sense. So I guess some people can that can incite fear in them. So Wolfenstein can maybe have some like terrifying moments of like being chased down by like behemoth machinery stuff.
yeah.
But then you have games like Alien Isolation, where it's like you're holding your breath every time you're walking down a hallway, because at any point that alien is going to be crashing down on you.
If that alien comes out, you're dead.
Yeah, pretty much.
And it's like a form of suspense with Alien Isolation.
Yeah.
I think when we think of horror games, we kind of think of the template of like Silent Hill and Resident Evil, and even the older Alone in the Darks, where you're fighting certain enemies, but you're fighting puzzles, pieces to solve a puzzle in a different room. And your thing is like you have to survive on what the game provides to you. Where something like
and that's where survival horror is a subgenre of this. And so when I think of horror, in a sense, I guess I don't think I that's not where my brain goes first.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I guess horror is a very broad genre. It's like racing. There's so many different aspects to racing games that it's like a game like Chase, or like Horizon Chase Turbo, is a far different game than Forza Horizon or Forza Motorsport even. So
even though this is Xbox, like Until Dawn, it's a PlayStation game. That's a example of horror because it takes the teenagers, the kids going into a cabin and something that's happened to them one by one. That's traditional kind of horror trope that we see in movies. And so when we see it in games, that will kind of be the example of horror in a sense. But like for like stuff on Game Pass, like I definitely would recommend like Dead Cells for people who want a little bit more action and everything, and definitely Wolfenstein too. I would say because it's not just because of the action itself. It's a lot in that cutscenes that will make you be like, oh wow,
yeah,
like
Control even has a creepy aspect to it. I mean, that's kind of you know, like you've like that time when you go to where the janitor is or whatever, and it's just this like weird like infinite looking like room that's just like got pillars and stuff, and it's dark, and all these shadow, you know, people start showing up, and like, you know, like that's got aspects of that, and like, you know, things like a Plague's Tale, I'm sure they probably had on that list too, or a Plague's Tale.
A Plague Tale is on this one, which is,
yeah,
you know, terrifying in a way of just like suspense, and obviously if you're afraid of rats,
yeah,
this is definitely something you're going to want to avoid if you're afraid of rats.
Definitely Resident Evil 7, I think.
Oh yeah,
Where,
for sure.
You know, definitely going in it and the first time without no one telling you what you're going to experience. The only thing people would say, like, just play it. Don't go in with no strategy guide. Just experience what that game has to offer, because it gets spooky or spoopy.
Mm-hmm.
That's all.
Yeah, we have to use the right terminology here. We're calling it spoopy.
Yeah.
Another one, I guess, Eddie, this kind of applies to you because you're into walking simulators. What remains of Edith Finch? I see this as more like a mystery type game with maybe some dark elements to it, but I wouldn't qualify this as horror. But like I said, horror comes in many different forms.
It's more of the reveal of how these characters in this family, that, you know, seeing how they perish,
they died,
getting the way that how everything is revealed and unfolds. I think that is kind of for some people that is kind of scary, but it also may trigger some things in them. But I wouldn't say that it's scary, but I think it is an interesting game that people should play and just like experience. Like, you will get horrified by some things, or they will make you think that, oh, that was a horrible thing that they created for this game. So I can see it.
Yeah.
Corey, how about you? Is there anything on this list that
I mean,
that kind of strikes out to you?
I mean, I think obviously the Evil Within games are if you're looking for like to scratch that Resident Evil itch, that's, you know, that's there. Resident Evil 7 is actually on here too, so I mean, you can be hunted down by a creepy family. Prey, I think, is something that a lot of people have underlooked, you know, for a long time. I'm just going through this list that's here. So, I mean, Prey, I think if you want a game with, like, that's not really a horror game, but really atmospheric and it allows you to play in a bunch of different ways, I think Prey is something, especially if you're playing Deathloop right now, or if you like Dishonored. Prey is made by Arcane, so I think you know, you should definitely look at that. If you want to play with friends, State of Decay is usually, you know, a good time, I think.
Yeah.
I know
zombie games.
I know I'm just kind of like repeating what everybody else said, but I mean, these are games that stick out to me as games that I would play, because like they're not scary, but they definitely have that you know, kind of horror atmosphere, or, you know, just kind of have that tone. So also, like, I know we mentioned Hellblade, it's creepy in its own way, but like the atmosphere in that game and just the story that they're telling and everything is really cool. So I mean, I would play that just, and there are a couple like small jump scares that are like, you know, and like the way that the environment changes when you walk through, or you know, when you're solving some of the puzzles and you see that character, like the one character, or, you know, like the with the skull, wearing the skull, and like you kind of turn around and he's not there anymore, or like that kind of thing. So Hellblade definitely jumps out, but yeah, those are a couple that kind of walk out, or stick out to me.
Have any of you guys ever played the Five Nights at Freddy's games?
I have not. I seen them. I get the gist of what they are, but I'm just like, once you see it and experience it, that's about pretty much it. There's nothing else to it.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Sounds like
Yeah,
I
like
was
I will say Carry On is a good one for people who want like a venture game where you're playing this monster and you're eating enemies, taking over some eating doctors, I said, and taking over some people, and just trying to get out of the facility. And it's not only is it comedic and stuff, like it's brutally bloody. And it's a lot of people did enjoy this 2D pixel game, so I would say Carry Out is definitely a good one.
I do have a couple suggestions that aren't on this list that I think people should play. I think a lot of people forget that the first Gears of War has a lot of horror elements in it, especially in that second and third chapter when you're being chased by the Berserker, right? Also, a game that's not on here that's coming to Game Pass soon, Back for Blood.
That's coming out this week.
So that
is We Happy Few on it?
It's on.
We
Happy Few's on here.
Okay.
So
you know what? I wish we would get the original Prey game, like because I wonder if that's not owned by them anymore, or
the IP is, but like that game.
Forget.
That game came out before Bethesda had a publishing arm, so that game was technically published by 2K. Oddly enough, and so
you can't buy it on your Xbox, the 360 version. You can't buy the old Prey.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Yeah,
well, I have it, or I own it.
It's backwards compatible, so you can play it.
Nice. Yeah, because dude, I loved that game so much. It was so good. Did so many things that just were different than anything else that I had ever played.
Right, for sure.
Yeah.
Definitely a special shout out to Limbo. On here, made by Play Dead, where it was like obviously it's a kind of like a side-scrolling platform, but everything is black with kind of gray fog elements, and you have enemies, and man, can they brutally kill you? Like they just tear you apart. It's like, like you don't see details, but it's like when you die, it's like, that's terrifying. Sometimes spiders will rip you in half or like rip pieces off you. It's like,
Yeah. Also,
I know. What was it? I think Eddie, you talked about Until Dawn, but the Dark Pictures anthology, Man of Medan, is on.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good one.
Yeah. I was about to mention that because the third or fourth game's coming out. The military themed one.
Yeah,
the third one's out already. Yeah.
Yeah. So also a game that I like that I know I'm about to get made fun of, but it's fine. Dante's Inferno is very good.
Bro, I love that game.
I never played it.
I love that game.
It's when I had a 360 before I had a PS3, and God of War 3 was coming out, and this was like the closest thing to God of War on Xbox 360, those original ones, and I played the crap out of it, and it was so much fun.
That ran at 60 frames a second.
Yeah.
So when you were playing that game, the combat was so silky smooth at the time.
It was.
God of War couldn't even nail 60 frames a second.
No.
So I think it was Visceral Studios, something like that. I think they worked on that. Man, they nailed it. They nailed the game.
They did.
What other game? What other game can you run around slashing babies?
It's true.
Come on.
It's true.
I still feel like DMC Devil May Cry. I'll keep going to that. I think it's a good kind of.
It's not on Game Pass, Ed.
I know it's not on Game Pass, and you brought a game that wasn't on Game Pass, but
what did I bring? Oh,
true that. Dante's
just
Inferno.
said Dante's Inferno.
It's on Game Pass.
No, it's not.
It's on EA Play. If you have Game Pass Ultimate, it's right here. Looking at it right now. Game Pass Ultimate, Dante's Inferno.
Oh,
EA Play. Bam.
I suppose if you have Game Pass Ultimate, yeah.
If you don't have Game Pass Ultimate, what are you guys doing with your life? Why are you paying for two separate services when you can get it all in one? 3, actually, technically. EA Play, Games with Gold, or Gold, Xbox Live Gold, whatever the hell they're calling it now, and Game Pass. Plus, you get cloud gaming.
PC game.
Plus, you get it on your PC. Plus, I don't know. It's only $15.
Plus, I was going to say, what else?
What are you doing with your life?
DMC Devil May Cry is always like on sale for like $10 or something. Definitive.
I think I bought it for $7 or $8. I mean, it's cheap all the time. That game is amazing.
Yeah.
Game's
I
amazing.
mean, dealing with demons and just the fighting and the combos is still good, and the music and story is just like one of the best.
Dude, I really wish we would have gotten a sequel to that game. They set it up so good with Virgil.
Yeah,
They did.
Ugh.
Yeah. I thought Ninja Theory did a great job with it. Like I said, it was the I know a lot of people were like, "Oh, Dante's so angsty in this one." I'm like, he's angsty in all of them.
Yeah.
Have you ever played Devil May Cry?
If you
Right.
know who Dante is.
Well, that's the thing. Like, as someone who really didn't play a whole lot of Devil May Cry, and the DMC was my first one, and just knowing enough about it through just hearing people talk about it.
Mhm.
Yeah, I did not understand or get the hate. Like, I absolutely loved that game.
Plus,
and it made me check out the other ones.
Plus, if you remember, people hated Devil May Cry 2, and people hated Devil May Cry 4 because you had to replay the entire game backwards as a character that was not as good as the character you played through before. So,
I know.
of course, Capcom's going to repeat the series.
whole Dante's. Yeah, I was gonna say all the Dante's Inferno, like not Dante's Inferno, Devil May Cry games. So, like, honestly, Devil May Cry 2 is probably the worst of the series. But I actually enjoyed.
No.
Ed,
Stop interrupting.
Ed. No, it's fine. But I'm actually curious to hear what your thoughts are on that. But yeah, I mean, Devil May Cry 4 was divisive because it's like, I don't want to play as Nero. I want to play as Dante.
Right.
But it's whatever.
Yeah, I think 2 is better than 4. I think you had to buy the run ability, and every time you failed in something that you just left the fight, you have to do that whole fight over and over. Like the camera work in that game was bad. I think at least with Devil May Cry 2, the cutscenes were good. I mean, the fighting was whatever it was, but the cutscenes was just like was done from an action director. So you got like this B-rated yet cool action sequence in this cutscenes. So I'm like, it has some good qualities. I don't find nothing good in the Devil May
They
Cry.
put a muzzle over Dante's mouth in 2. That's what I didn't like about it. They put a muzzle over his mouth because they took away that smart ass banter that Dante was always really good with.
Mm-hmm.
And they just kind of put a muzzle over him. So I was like, come on, where's the the quippiness of him or whatever. So
Yeah.
And I think that was
you get I was supposed to fill your dark soul with light.
Oh, that one was just so funny. That's why I say it's B-rated action goofiness, but I'm like, it's done. To me personally, it's done well.
Sure.
But
yeah,
to each their own.
Anybody else have any spoopy games they want to recommend before we head on out? Get some sleepy time in. Get some.
No, I mean, pretty much Visage is the game to play right now.
And I recommend Jesse game, Alan Wake Remastered. I'm like, go play that. That's a really good like horror thriller kind of game.
And I mean, if if you want only Game Pass, I think the original is still on Game Pass, isn't it? Or backwards compatible or whatever.
It's backwards compatible. It is not on Game Pass anymore.
Oh, okay. They probably.
I think they probably removed it once. Yeah.
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 I mean, you can if you want to go back. Silent Hill is always the primo series to play. But if you have I don't recommend the HD collection because especially Silent Hill 2. I heard they kind of broke it a little bit when they made it. So,
man, I wish Parasite Eve was still a thing.
It is. You can play the third birthday on your PSP.
Yeah,
He was.
If you have a 60 gig PlayStation 3, you could play it.
It's true.
Or a PlayStation 1.
Yeah.
Actually, no, you can play PlayStation 1 games on the new systems. It's just PlayStation 2 you couldn't.
Yeah.
I think that's how that worked.
Well, PlayStation 2. Oh, you mean you just couldn't play PlayStation 2 games?
Yeah, because on the initial the fat PlayStation 3, the 60 gig version, everything was backwards compatible. But then when they put out the PlayStation Slims, nothing was backwards compatible, with the exception of PlayStation 1. You could play PlayStation 1 games, but you couldn't play PlayStation 2 games.
Actually, they put a patch on for even the fat PlayStation 3. Even before Slim came out, it took backwards compatible away from everybody.
No, the
okay.
60 gig ones are still because they have the PS2
Yeah.
inside of them still.
I thought they put the patch where they stopped it from working.
It's
No, when I revitalized my PlayStation 3 just recently, I updated it. I updated the firmware, and I
And they
googled
still let you do it.
I googled it because I heard what you said, and I found out it wasn't true. So
Because there was just like people, they took their system off from the internet because they was trying to keep it.
yeah, but no, that was a rumor. So I updated it, and I knew like, well, if it didn't work, then I would just, obviously wipe the hard drive again and then start over. But,
Start over.
yeah.
Well, guys, we did it. Another episode of Arsenal X, the Xbox podcast, in the books. In the books.
We
Ed,
did well.
thanks for joining us tonight.
Thank you for having me.
Appreciate your insight, I'll say, in the world of Xbox.
Thank you.
I want to thank everybody for watching and or listening as well. Remember, you can follow us on Twitter at the Boss Rush Network. You can check out bossrush.net for all of our content and all of our shows. You can also check out Arsenal X every Tuesday morning on your podcast service of choice and on YouTube. We'd appreciate a like, a subscribe, a share, and rating and review wherever you listen to us. Ed, where can we find you?
Guys, you can find me on Twitter at ThatVirtualCode and check out Nintendo Pod Block, live recording on Mondays and the recorded show on Wednesdays at 7 a.m. in the morning.
Stoy, where can we find you?
I am also part of the EXP Cast, a video game podcast. And we talk about video games, obviously. You can find me on
Sometimes.
Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at EXP Cast.
Nice.
Sick.
Might want to check your check your feeds on Wednesday on Boss Rush Network to see who the featured partner of Boss Rush Network is. May or may not be EXP Cast.
It should be interesting. I can't wait.
Yeah. Suspense. Jesse, where can we find you?
You can find me everywhere as Phantom NXS.
And you can find me at I am Corey HD on Twitter and Instagram. You can find me hosting the Boss Rush podcast. I will be appearing on Nintendo Power Block tomorrow with Jacob Galatrad. So, should be a good time. Thank everybody for watching and or listening. And until next week, we love you. Goodbye.
Bye.
We appreciate you.
Bye, everybody.
Goodbye now.
What's the matter, you hurt? Hey, bro.